Cool. All right, so again, this is Blaze and Rainmaker, and we have n0tail here. Gonna have some questions. How's it going, man? Good game.
Hi. Yeah. Hi. What's up? Nice game. Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, you looked a little shaky in the first one with a lot of aggression from, I'm trying to remember the Storm Spirit player, but either way, Sharfik, yeah, did really well,
Yeah,
but
yep.
you guys pulled together on the last two. How do you feel after that?
Oh, it feels good. It feels really good. We weren't so happy after the first game, but then it all turned out alright for us. So feels good.
Yeah, I people in the chat are asking, were you actually looking into picking the Meepo until the Earthshaker pick came out?
No, today we didn't really have it in mind.
Okay.
We just, yeah, we wanted to start off like today. Today's game is really good, but the first game didn't go as intended, and well, then we definitely don't want to go into something like Meepo because we don't have too much experience with it.
Right. So would you so you kind of have the reputation of playing all of the micro heroes, and as a starting player, what would you say is the most important trick to starting to learn these heroes? You have to play a lot of games, obviously, but is there a little bit more efficient way to start getting that experience?
For me, what I started with was just I thought what would be most efficient way to hotkey the different things when I play Chen or whatever, and then I just stuck with it. I knew it was the most efficient. It was really hard to learn. It like I've messed up so many times with the different binds on the heroes with multiple characters or whatever, and well, you just have to stick with it, and eventually you're gonna get a hang of it. And then if you have a really efficient way of having it bound and the way that you start learning, then it becomes like a lot more natural to you. So it's just about sticking to the same thing and not thinking too much about it and switching everything up again because it's not working for you. You just gotta practice.
For sure, for sure. Now, what about that global strategy that you're kind of practicing with Hani picking up the bots early on Beastmaster? Do you think like Nature's Prophet is kind of first ban material, or just something to watch out for in the draft and counter coordinate against more appropriately?
The Nature's Prophet or the Beastmaster?
Or just that whole global presence aspect. Obviously, they took off Guardian Wisp a couple times, but the aspect of having recall and Nature's Prophet teleport, bots, all that.
Well, I've always found that the global presence is really nice to have, and it makes the enemies play a certain way, because if they don't play that way, it's going to pay off for you, and you're going to get pickoffs which happen in the start like of the game too, and then you saw after we got a few pickoffs, they would start to cluster a lot, like go very together, and then we would have to farm up items, so we got strong enough to pick off the AM, who was the only one who would walk out alone. So before we could do that, we didn't really get much action going, but we spread farming while they're together, not farming so efficiently. So in that way, the global strat is kind of also like a late game strat, because you're kind of getting more farm and you get more ahead than the enemy team.
Right. Now, my next question is, how do you beat a Keeper of the Light? Because in every single game we've seen so far in this league, like that hero just seems to be the most dominant. Blinding Light shutting down carries in the late game, forcing BKBs, great counter push, great tri-lane support in the sense of Chakra Magic. Like, what do you do? What do you think the best response is?
Well, our response to it was we lost first game to Keeper, and then we were like, no, that's not gonna happen again. So actually, the third game we kind of went out on a limp and left both Bad Rider and Keeper of the Light in the pool. But yeah, they went with Bad Rider and we were happy with it, so they didn't get coddled and we got it and won a game. That hero is just not fun to be up against.
Yeah. And finally, what do you think about, because we've actually not been seeing as many Bloodstone-oriented Storm Spirits, do you think it's just kind of the nature of games these days that the mid lane needs to be a lot more active? So heroes like Beastmaster that can gank very aggressively, Storm Spirit, you know, if he goes for a fast Null Talisman and treads to just do a little bit more damage, do you think that's kind of the flavor of Dota right now? Very aggressive mid lanes, kind of controlling the pace of the game for the carry to farm?
Talking of my own personal experience, like the only storms I really see is the more active ones rushing an Orchid or something, and then one time you play against Korok and he goes for Midas and Bloodstone, and well, that happened once in a while, and we'd never really been up against it in that game. But yeah, normally for me, Storm is always has a big early presence and goes for the early items. He's also the kind of global hero, like global presence. You can never really feel safe.
Sure. Right. Kind of on top of that for mid selection, what do you think about that Pugna pickup? Do you think that was really what they're looking for the Nether Ward to counter out, keep it light a little bit and that kind of thing? Or was it just non-dynamic enough and you were able to shut it down?
The funny thing about 3D, or this team we just played, was that all their drafts came out so fast, so they must have had some thought about it, or like been thinking about it either before the draft or during the draft, so they just knew what they were gonna go with. I don't know, like they picked it just right away, so they weren't really thinking too much about it. Either they were countering a hero we had picked earlier or something. I'm not sure what it was for, but picking a Pognom with an AM, I have see the synergy, but they obviously had a plan with it, so.
Yeah, all I
can't
can
say
think of
much
is
about
like big mana voids, but besides that, it doesn't seem to really
yeah,
make a ton of
not
sense.
really much synergy, but
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to somehow push with it for people and AM split pushing or something. I'm not sure.
What do you think about Nexus as a carry? Do you think that you need to shut him down pretty early to make sure he can't get a bunch of big items to clash with your carry player, or do you think Era's got him beat?
The Nakes. Like the problem about the hero is that like shutting him down. It's if you pick two strong supports with him, you can't. You're just gonna die like on an even matchup with three heroes against an Nakes and two strong supports, and like you're always gonna lose it, or you're at least not gonna win it. You can't go on the Nakes with anything really, not in laning phase.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's just end with a fun question from the chat. What's your favorite hero for each role? Carry, support, mid, What would you like to play? Just on a completely casual level.
Like what kind of role I would play on a cash? Like what I would play in pubs? You mean?
No, but like if you had to go mid as a pub, or if you had to play
Yeah.
carry on a pub.
What hero? Yeah.
Well, on mid, I love playing Invoker mid in pubs. Kind of going semi-carry, something like that. But then as supporting in pubs, I don't really like it. If anything, I'll just roam with something. That works fine. Potom, Earthshaker, even Jogger roaming in pubs.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate it. I'm telling you.
Juggernaga is actually surprisingly scary. I just pub
Get
trained a while back.
boots. Get
Yeah.
boots. Suddenly, your mid was fun. Just
Yeah.
Jogger spinning you down.
Nice.
Yeah, that covers about all the roles. I really hate playing carry. The only thing I like playing carry. Oh yeah, wait. There's Morphling. I like playing Morphling mid, and yeah, he's carry.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
No problem. Nothing. Thanks for having me.
Good games. Congrats.
Good game.
Good games.
Thank you.